A former soldier who escaped from Wandsworth prison after strapping himself to the underside of a lorry has been found guilty of spying for Iran. Woolwich Crown Court heard that 23-year-old Daniel Khalife was a serving soldier when he was paid by Iranian agents for information about other troops, including members of the Special Forces. Our UK correspondent Daniel Sanford reports.
In the blue top, this was Daniel Khalife in Wandsworth prison kitchen just before his escape. 15 minutes later, he was driven out of the jail, clinging to the bottom of this catering truck, suspended by a sling made of kitchen trousers. The driver, unaware of the stowaway, made his way through the morning traffic. The lorry with Daniel Khalife clinging on underneath stopped at these lights, and a motorist following behind saw him drop to the ground, roll out, stand up, flick his fringe and casually walk off. It was the beginning of a massive nationwide manhunt. By 5 o'clock that afternoon, he was 6 miles away, stealing a baseball cap in Mountain Warehouse to hide his face. The next morning, he bought spare clothes in Marks & Spencer before casually reading about his escape in the newspapers. The huge publicity led to hundreds of calls to the police, and eventually, after 3 days on the run, Daniel Khalife was spotted riding a bike along this canal towpath and arrested by a plainclothes detective who he promptly congratulated. The son of a British-Iranian single mother, Daniel Khalife had joined the army aged 16. One fellow recruit remembered him as an annoying attention seeker.
How cocky he was, how arrogant he came across, and just how he seemed to want the spotlight. He always wanted to seem like he was the attention point and that no one else could take it.
Within a year of joining the army, he was in a North London park collecting £1,500 in a dog poo bag from Iranian agents. He even travelled to Istanbul for a meeting, later telling his handler he wanted to be trained in Iran.
I wanted to have some training from you guys, and I think the best training for me is inside of Iran. I'm one of the most intelligent people. I won an award. I am better than everybody here.
In a message, he said he'd worked for Iran for 25 plus years.
Iran is one of a number of countries that present a real and present risk to our national security. So Daniel Khalife providing information to them absolutely compromises our national security.
Khalife had sent the Iranians classified strategy documents that he upgraded to secret, but misspelled the word. He was only caught because he called MI5 offering to be a double agent. Instead, they had him arrested, which is why he was in prison when he escaped.
And Daniel's here with me, and there are clear worries about a wider threat from countries like Iran.
Yes, there are. In many ways, Daniel Khalife is a complete one-off, a fantasist who dreamed of being a special forces soldier, and when that dream turned sour, he ended up giving classified information to Iran. But he's also something of a canary in the coal mine, because there's a number of cases coming down the track of what's sometimes called state threats, alleged acts of spying and sabotage by countries like Iran, Russia and China. And these cases are the product of a couple of phenomena. Firstly, the incredibly interconnected world we live in, which allowed Daniel Khalife to essentially use Facebook to contact Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, that also allowed another man, Dylan Earl from Leicestershire, who recently pleaded guilty to carrying out an arson attack on behalf of Russia, to contact the state-backed Russian group Wagner through Telegram. The other phenomenon is what's sometimes called hybrid warfare, this idea that countries like Russia, instead of using tanks and missiles and bullets to disrupt the societies of their geopolitical opponents, would rather use sabotage and other forms of disruption. And it's because of this that the last government introduced the National Security Act last year, and why counter-terrorism detectives are spending increasing amounts of time on state threats rather than terrorism.